You approved a $12 million technology investment. The business case looked clean. The operations were aligned. The board signed off. 6 months later, the strategy deck and the financials tell two very different stories. That gap is not a technology problem. It's a governance problem. And in the next 12 minutes, you will see exactly why CFOs keep getting blamed for decisions they never made. So your CEO returns from the board meeting convinced the company needs to modernize. Your CIO brings a slide deck of 40 PowerPoint slides explaining how to do it. Neither document answers the same question. The CEO is chasing market position. The CIO is chasing technical stability. The board? They're chasing return. And the CFO is expected to turn three conflicting priorities into one capital story the board will believe. But here's the hard truth. When those three operators move without a shared definition of winning, governance does not bend. It breaks. And when it breaks, the CFO pays for it. I'm Jason Hahn. I spent 18 years as a global technology executive, managing budgets of over $150 million across multiple industries. I've watched this pattern destroy execution in companies from $50 million to $2 billion. Today, I advise CFOs and operating partners who are tired of technology spend that looks strategic on paper and chaotic in execution. And the real cause is never where people think it is. Governance fails the moment capital moves without a shared economic logic. And here is how it happens. Week 1. The CEO authorizes that $12 million to stay competitive. Clear mandate. Unclear economics. Week 2. The CIO produces a roadmap built on technical milestones, not business outcomes. Week 3. Finance tracks progress using project metrics that did not answer a single question the board actually cares about. Everything is moving. Nothing is aligned. Everyone believes the other operator gets it. Until month 6. That's when the collision becomes impossible to ignore. The project is on time. The project is on budget. And no one can tell the board how it generates advantage or reduces risk. That's the moment the CFOs recognize the real problem. The room agreed to the strategy. The room never agreed to the economics. And here's the distinction that most leadership teams miss. Alignment is not governance. Alignment is what happens after the decision has already been made. People nod. Slides are approved. Capital moves. Governance is what happens before the decision is locked in. It is the moment someone forces the economics into the room. And if you're wondering why this keeps failing, it is because most companies don't have a system that forces that moment. They rely on intent. They rely on experience. They rely on trust. None of those protect the capital. So the same failure repeats. And that's why you need a mechanism, not another meeting. When decisions involve millions of dollars, good intentions are just not good enough. You can't rely on alignment. You can't rely on consensus. You cannot rely on personality. You need something that slows the decision down, forces trade-offs, and make explicit. That's what governance is supposed to do. And when it does not, capital drifts until the board intervenes. So the question becomes simple. What system actually forces economic clarity before the money moves? There are only 3 things governance must do. Nothing more, nothing less. Command, control, and confidence. With command, you see exactly where capital is going and what decision it enables. Not tasks, not timelines. The decision and its financial impact. With control, one owner, one deadline, one definition of success. Not consensus, accountability. With confidence, the board receives one story, measured by one metric, that ties spending to outcomes they can understand. The system does not add bureaucracy. It removes ambiguity. It stops collisions before they happen. It forces the CIO, the CEO, the CFO into one economic narrative before money even moves. Because governance is not collaboration. Governance is capital discipline. And once you see this system, you start noticing something uncomfortable. Most companies do not fail because they lack effort. They fail because no one ever forced this conversation before the money moved. And this is not theoretical. I've seen this exact failure play out in boardrooms with real dollars and very real consequences. And I'll tell you about one. There was a $600 million manufacturer with a $26 million budget and almost no visibility into what the money was actually doing. The CEO wanted transformation to stay competitive. The CIO wanted stability to reduce operational risk. The CFO wanted one thing: to know whether the spend earned its place on the balance sheet. So I applied command, control, and confidence. Command exposed the real financial driver. Control created one owner and one deadline, and the confidence gave the board one single measurable impact. And for the first time, strategy and financials told the same story. The investment was approved without cuts, not because it was cheaper, but because the board finally understood what they were buying. So here's the entire video in 60 seconds. IT governance fails because operators hold different definitions of winning. The CEO pursues growth. The CIO pursues stability. The board pursues return. And the CFO is asked to reconcile all three without visibility or shared economics. The fix is one framework: command, control, and confidence. Command gives visibility. Control creates decision clarity. Confidence gives the board one narrative. CFOs who use this system stop surprises, stop collisions, and stop defending technology they never approved in the first place. You know how the governance system fails and the system that fixes it. But here's the next gap. Even when the CFO used this framework, the board still asks one question that freezes the room. What is the real return on this technology? Most executives cannot answer it in under 5 minutes. The next video gives you the exact answer the board wants, the way they want it, and the 3 numbers that make the conversation simple. Please subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you.